Well, follow that. Alan Norris and Mervyn King in a 6-5 duel. But it's Norris who prevails and will face the world #1, Michael van Gerwen, here at the European Darts Open. Right now, though, it's Brendan Dolan and Terry the Bull Jenkins. Two guys who will scrap for their lives. Terry Jenkins has probably been second only to Michael van Gerwen in terms of players on the European Tour this year in terms of results. I mean, he's made one final, he's made a semi-final. Always a popular man wherever he goes. Brendan Dolan, well, as we've said a number of times, probably to the point of him not being underestimated anymore. But he is one of the most underestimated players in world darts. Dan Dawson in the commentary box for this one, and Rod Harrington alongside me. Rod, just a quick one. Can Alan Norris beat MVG? Can he go and win the whole thing?
I mean, over the short distance, obviously he's got a great chance, but if you look at the stats of his last two games, although Michael's not playing at the top of his game, you know Michael's going to get better. But Norris has too many legs at the moment where he's not hitting the treble. I mean, leg 2 and 3 again, and we've talked about it quite a bit this weekend, cost Mervyn King. He should have been 3-0 up clearly. He outscored Alan immensely in the first 3 quarters of the game. But he dug deep, Norris, which is good to see. But he's going to have to up his game an awful lot, I feel, to on his leg-on-leg scoring if he's going to stay with Michael van Gerwen. But yes, of course he's got a chance, but he needs to improve quite a bit.
Mm-hmm. Well, Terry Jenkins, a nearly man in PDC major tournaments, a nearly man on the European Tour as well. He's a man who could beat van Gerwen. They had an epic set of duels over the course of 2014. It's continued into 2015. But Terry the Bull has got to get past Brendan Dolan first before he starts thinking about who he could face later in the tournament. Quarter-final, semi-final and the final all on the way this evening. The winner of this will face either Kim Huybrechts, the Hurricane, who was superb yesterday. He saw off Jihan Artut. Artut averaged 104 and it wasn't enough. Kim averaged 105. As Terry the Bull hits it under 40. Yeah, so Kim Huybrechts or Michael Smith, the winner in Risa, a man who's got 2 European titles to his name.
Well, if you look at Terry Jenkins' performance yesterday, it was probably, for me, the best. 6-1, 3 15s, 2 14s and a 13. I mean, that is solid darts.
Yeah, lost the first leg to John Henderson and then did not look back.
No, it was a brilliant display of darts, very consistent. You know, we talk about this leg-on-leg scoring power, pressure. Jenkins is one of those people that doesn't go 15, 18 darts without hitting the treble that a lot of other people do. I mean, I've got him the favourite to win this game, and if he gets on a run, he could win it comfortable. But as we said, you can't underestimate Brendan Dolan.
You can't. I mean, the man's ranked in he's number 11 in the world. Terry the Bull's 13. So, you know, looking at that, there is very little between them. Brendan has made the final one of these before. That was in Holland a couple of years ago. He ended up losing to Kim Huybrechts, whom he could face in the next round. He has beaten Terry once before, but it was a long while ago. Terry's won the other 6 of their meetings. That includes beating him in Venray this year and 10-4 at the UK Open last year on his run to the final, where he was beaten by Adrian Lewis. As Jenkins doesn't need to go the Bull route, so it's just looking to put a dent in this.
25.
105.
Yeah, old school Terry Jenkins. Didn't even contemplate going for the treble 17 for the bullseye. He's not interested in that. He just wants to give himself 2 darts at a double, walk off, a break a throw in the first leg, and he's on the run. And we know there's a lot of players that go for that. Even Michael van Gerwen. I guarantee Phil Taylor, Dennis Priestley, Eric Bristow in his prime would not go that bullseye route. And as I've said, our consistency is, yeah, why don't you just let me down tell?
Well, it doesn't matter, does it? It doesn't matter if you're going to hit the top 3 1 dart. That's it. 1-0 Terry Jenkins. And it's a breaker throw as well.
I mean, in the previous game, you know, Alan Norris went for a bullseye shot that he didn't need to go for, and then comes back, missed 2 darts at the double. I know all you listeners out there, as Jenkins kicks off with a maximum, will say, well, a pro should hit a double with 2 darts in his hand. But you know what? And half nice to have the 3rd one in your mitt just in case.
Mm-hmm.
And going by the bullseye loses you that problem. Mervyn King had 1 dart at double top to win the match.
Oh, Terry Jenkins. Terry Jenkins. Well, we have seen it a number of times this weekend. Back-to-back 180s to start the leg.
I'm not even going to say it because we've been let down so many times by these players.
Well, let's try the other way then. This is not going to happen. Absolutely no hope for Terry Jenkins.
He'll miss the first treble. He was supposed to hit it.
What can we do, man? Trying everything to get this 9-darter on the European Tour. Not seen one since Ross Smith hit one in Gibraltar.
Yes, and that was a long time ago now.
It was.
And when you look at the standard of every player and how many 9-darters, we had another 9-darter on the Challenge Tour yesterday.
Terry, you require 76.
But Terry Jenkins has given himself the opportunity to hold throw very easy. 11-darter will do very nicely. And that's exactly what he's got. Terry Jenkins flying out the blocks here.
Game on.
Do you think with Terry Jenkins, I mean, he is a solid player, you know, as good as it gets, to be quite honest. But on these Sundays, you've got to win 4 games. Or even if you're in the final, you're playing 4 games. That is where perhaps just Terry, a little bit of strength, endurance, with the younger men like Van Gerwen and Michael Smith.
It's very difficult to say. I mean, obviously,
55.
he made the final in Gibraltar, and Michael Van Gerwen, he won it very well. But had he taken a match start against Michael Van Gerwen in Venray, as Brendan Dolan hits back.
18.
Yeah, he made the semi-finals in Venray as well and missed a match start against Michael Van Gerwen. I mean, had he done that, then he'd probably been favourite to go and beat Justin Pipe in the final. He was certainly playing at a higher standard than Justin was that weekend, overall.
But he also ran out of steam in the UK Open against Adrian Lewis down in
He
Minehead.
ran out of steam, but then again, Adrian Lewis did average 110.
Well, there was that.
130.
9 times a major finalist, Terry Jenkins. Only a couple of current majors that he hasn't made the final of. The Worlds, of course.
140.
Players' Championship for the quarterfinals, and the Masters, although that's a relatively new tournament. But Brendan Dolan, it could be an 11-darter of his own. Well, he's hit the treble.
Double 10.
Game
Oh,
shot
10 it
the
is.
third leg. Brendan Dolan. Full leg, Terry to throw first.
In that situation, with Terry not on a finish there, I mean, he's gone the treble 15 route with 65. I mean, do you not like the sort of 25 for the top?
Well, I expected him to go for the 25 because I was going to mention, you know, be his luck now. He hit the bullseye with his second dart. Whether Brendan would have gone for the bullseye if he just hit the bare 15, I don't know. But going for that 25, you know, for me is the route. A lot of people may go the treble 18 on 90 to leave the double 18, especially the Dutch guys who like the double 18. It's the only route you can leave the double 18.
I think we'll be seeing a lot of shots at double 18 when Jelle Klaassen takes the stage later on. Jelle is in red-hot form, as we've said a number of times this weekend. He's smashed his way through to the last 16 stage. Saw Dave Chisnell 6-1 yesterday.
Yeah, that was disappointing from Chisnell. I expected him to step up and play a lot better, but he just was not at the races. I mean,
just one of those days where he misses doubles, isn't it? And to be fair, they're not as regular as they used to be. But it can happen to anyone. But Terry the Bull is basically carrying on as he started his campaign yesterday. A 6-1 win over John Henderson and an average of 100. He is now 2-1 up and looking to go 3-1 up against Brendan Dolan.
100. Terry, you require 121.
Just after 9 darts. He may go for the 51 here because of the way the dart is. He's just looking over.
97.
Sets it up absolutely perfect. I mean, you're not going to lose too many legs, are you? On your throw, you're leaving 24 after 12.
Yeah, well, it's been 15-darter, 11-darter, 12-darter, and it could be a 13-darter here.
91.
Very, very good standard from these two, as you would expect. Well, a 14-darter will do nicely.
Terry Jenkins.
Well, as yet, Terry Jenkins has not had a winning leg over 15 darts in the European Masters tournament, which is pretty impressive.
Very, very impressive.
Makes him on stats, probably the favourites.
Well, I mean, if you average 100 and you take your chances, you've got a chance of beating anybody. As I've mentioned before, Raymond van Barneveld, Premier League. Phil Taylor 115 at him. He still won the game. There you see, 15, 11, 12, 14. Not bad. Not bad at all.
And the first leg with the 15 was, he hit the double with the third dart, so that could have actually been a 13. I know you're never going to hit every single double. We have had the very extreme games where people have gone 8 out of 8, I think, what I can remember. But that front 9 average is exceptional. Overall average is exceptional. And poor old Brendan Dolan would be more than happy with his overall average. His front 9 average is where he's losing it, as you can see. 16 points difference, which is huge. But you'd be happy with that, Dan, wouldn't you?
Oh, absolutely delighted. Not out of it.
I'd be happy with that with 6 darts, to be quite honest.
There you see that. 100% for Brendan Dolan. He's only had one chance. He's taken it. Terry Jenkins, 75%. And he's looking to chase Dolan down. Now, we've had 13 ton-plus averages this weekend. The most we have seen on a European Tour event is 15. We've seen that twice this year in Gibraltar and Munich. These two both average 100. We're level with the record with an absolute shed load of games to go. Oh. Ooh, unlucky Brendan Dolan. Now, the 161, Justin Pike took this out yesterday. Can Terry Jenkins? He won't. So Brendan will be back, swaggering around the back of the stage there.
He's just tapped him on the shoulder, though, hasn't he? And said, you know what, you've only got 2 darts at a double, Brendan. So don't go missing, old mate, because I'm going to clean up if you do.
Double 4 it is. Oh. Cheeky little one in the corner for Brendan Dolan.
6-leg Terry to throw first.
The thing about Jenkins' game at the moment as well is that even the legs he's losing, he's still down to a double.
Yeah.
And that was, you know, we talk about Phil Taylor, you know, over the last God knows how many years. This leg-on-leg pressure, as we call it, Jenkins is what he's done, especially this weekend, and for a good part of his career. You never see him give up. He's always thinking, well, he's going to miss. So I'll hit that and leave that 24 just to tap him on the shoulder. And that's why he will probably nick more legs than another player will, because he's always thereabouts.
Well, it doesn't give you any easy ones, does it? Very rarely. You know, he's not going to be on 300 when you're on a finish and you get 8 darts at a double where you eventually just stumble over the line. Not often, anyway. He's also very, very good, Terry Jenkins, at getting out of the blocks quickly.
140.
He's one of the players that kind of keeps himself to himself in the players' room when he's practicing as well. You know, he doesn't get into the banter that's flying around, especially with the youngsters. You know, they're all bouncing around as if they're, I don't know. Well, I'd have called it Haircut 100, but most people don't remember them.
Wow, I didn't think we'd hear Haircut 100 mentioned in commentary this weekend. 140 for Brendan Dolan. Just gives him a little chance here now. Terry didn't get a chance at the ball when he left 161 in the previous leg. He's not going to get one now, but Brendan Dolan may get an opportunity. Once again, he sets up the shot very well.
Yes. And I do like that shot because it's playing the percentages of the dartboard, guaranteeing yourself 2 darts at a double when you come back. If you come back.
Tops. Wow.
85.
Sorry,
Terry,
you miscounted there, Dan.
I did a Win Stanley. Terry Jenkins. Oh, now then, for the first time this weekend, it's taken him more than 15 darts to see off a leg. And Brendan Dolan has an opportunity for 3 apiece. For the break back he needs. And even though Terry Jenkins has been averaging around about 110 in the early part of this match, Brendan Dolan could and does make it 3 apiece. He will Dolanise you.
7th leg, Brendan to throw first.
Yeah, not very often that Terry Jenkins makes mistakes, but certainly that was one of them.
Game on.
Like Mervyn King, to be quite honest, in the previous game against Alan Norris. Legs 2 and 3 absolutely murdered him. Loads of darts at 16s and 8s. And Terry Jenkins, very unusual for him to miss 2 darts at double top.
96.
Well, it's not over yet. Certainly with the way that Terry has been playing, you would expect him to come back at Brendan. Maybe that's just knocked him out of his momentum, or knocked him out of his rhythm, if you like.
Well, he may have done, but that's the first time I can remember Terry Jenkins going up and not hitting a treble with a scoring darts.
140.
We do see this so often with Brendan Dolan, don't we? You know, he just keeps plodding along.
Doesn't matter what you throw at him, he will hit back at you. It might not be good enough sometimes, but look at this.
You throw the kitchen sink at him, it might hurt.
Well,
it might put him off
he'll go back and get the bath. Look at that, 107 average for Terry Jenkins. We've seen 2 people lose with 104 averages this weekend. Terry's thrown 107.
41.
Bit of a shocker.
I thought Terry was going to kick him off the hockey there for a minute. That's the second visit in this leg where Terry Jenkins has not hit a treble. He's not punished Brendan Dolan at all.
Ton for Brendan Dolan, gets him down to a finish again. Terry Jenkins needs something big, and he's just not quite finding the little red bit with the same regularity
60.
at all, is he?
Brendan, you require 124.
So Brendan Dolan to go into the lead for the first time in the match. 64 left.
Yeah, you won't go the bullseye route. That leaves double 8 now.
Lovely.
108.
Better from Terry Jenkins.
140.
And again, a little reminder for Brendan Dolan that this may have to go. The advantage that he's wrestled back from the ball could be lost again. But it does go, and it's 4-3 Dolan. The Northern Irishman leads for the first time in the match. And now it's down to Terry Jenkins to rediscover his touch of the opening few legs.
Yeah, the 2 missed darts at double top just thrown him out of sync a little bit in that leg, didn't it? Had 3 visits without hitting the treble, which is very unlike Jenkins. And one thing we do know about Brendan Dolan, give him an inch and he's going to take a mile.
58.
Either Michael Smith or Kim Hybrex plays the winner of this one. That is the next match on stage. Then it's James Wade, Mark Webster,
40.
Vincent van der Voort and Justin Pipe. It's the tortoise and the hare, if ever there was one. Simon Whitlock and Robert Thornton square off, and then it's Devon Peterson and Jelle Klaassen. Both of those guys coming through the qualifiers for this event. Jelle Klaassen
100.
in superb form, but Devon Peterson having just knocked out the defending champion, Peter Wright.
Well, it was good to see Mark Webster, you know, play well. Not only play well, but his throws as good as I've seen it for a good few years.
Yeah.
He weren't launching himself into, you know, on his release. He was keeping nice and still, and it proved that that's the action that he needs to find to get himself back in the top rankings.
Yeah, well, he's
59.
huge admiration for Mark Webster. I think he's an incredible dart player. Be nice to see him get back to where he was. Terry Jenkins doesn't need to go the ball double 16 route on 132 because Brendan Dolan's not on a finish, but just the 60 hasn't set it up perfectly, and this is an opportunity for Brendan Dolan. And he takes it. And he takes it.
Terry requires 70.
Big moment here.
We want the treble 12 for the double 18. Now it's double top.
32.
And another dart missed at double top.
Brendan, you require
Crucially
44.
missed for the ball. And Brendan Dolan is going to get 2 darts to take a 5-3 lead, a break, a throw.
Brendan Dolan is edging towards victory here.
Brendan to throw first.
It just shows you, Dan, how one thing in a game changed the whole concept of the game. The 2 darts missed by Terry Jenkins. He goes on and wins the match 6-3, 6-2. You know, a good performance. All of a sudden, it's just thrown him and he's thinking now, I can't believe I missed them darts at double. Well, and Brendan's laughing.
7 legs against Hendo, nothing above 15 darts. The first 5 legs of this, nothing above 15 darts. Everything, the 3 legs after that have all been in excess of 15 darts. There you see, 15, 16, 17 for Brendan Dolan. It's a different Terry Jenkins. Leg 5, they brought on a ringer.
Yeah, they brought on the sub, but it was the wrong sub.
Wrong one.
They brought on a winger instead of a defender.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that leg 5, 2 darts at the double top, puts him 4-1 up. Someone like Terry Jenkins does not very often give a 4-1. But his averages, they've dipped a little bit. I mean, he was 100, just on 120 at one time.
25.
On 107, so there's them last, especially the last 2 legs. His scoring power has deserted him a little bit. Where Brendan Dolan, he's not far off carrying on around the same. I mean, he was just on 101, wasn't he, in his overall average, so he's come down on that a bit.
This is better from Terry Jenkins, though. He's stolen the darts and he's...
87.
One scruffy dart there, but 1-5-2 is not a bad finish for a big one. 2 treble 20s and a double 16.
Terry, you require 152.
Well, it could go, this. It could go.
120.
But the ball will return, and it would make it 5-4, and he would have to throw in the next leg to tie it up at 5 apiece. And we could have another game go all the way to a deciding leg.
$59. Terry, you require 32. Game shot of the 9th leg.
And that will do for Terry Jenkins, 5-4.
10th leg, Terry to throw first. Game on.
Well, Terry Jenkins rebooted himself. He's back online. 13 dart leg.
$83. $100. $41.
Now a chance for Brendan Dolan. Just a straight tunnel do him, but if he can find 2 trebles, and that really is going to pile the pressure on Terry Jenkins.
100.
A ton is good enough. Well, it might have been good enough.
140.
Well, still anyone's game, this.
$60.
Terry Jenkins absolutely raring to go behind Brendan Dolan.
He's just hit that treble 1 2 or 3 times over the last couple of legs, hasn't he? And He needed to find another treble there. He needed to get down just over the 100 to leave a real decent 3-dart combination. Oh, this could hurt.
Oh, wow. I mean, the extra 40 points could have made all the difference there. Terry Jenkins finds that one again. And it means that Brendan Dolan's got 101 for the match.
78.
Needs a treble to get a match dart.
You require 101.
For 6-4 and to knock out Terry Jenkins, a man who's throwing everything at him in the early stages. Well,
61.
Surely the treble 14 is better
bigger
than the ball in.
Totally agree. Absolutely, totally agree. Oh, and that treble one again. So Kelly has hit that, I think, 4 times now.
Well,
68.
I thought he was going to pull that one out the fire.
Brendan, you require 40.
But Brendan Dolan now has 3 clear darts for the match for 6-4 against Terry Jenkins. Terry can't believe it. He cannot believe he finds himself in this position. Dolan right on the top wire with the first one and finds it with the second. And a shake of the head, but that is a high-quality game of darts we've just seen from those two. Terry Jenkins isn't quite sure how he's lost it. He was averaging 113 in the opening stages.